Welcome to Our Own Voice, a partnership in mental health awareness in cooperation with NAMI Wichita and KSUN Community Radio. NAMI is a National Alliance on Mental Illness. We're the largest grassroots advocacy network for people with mental illness and their family members, with over 800 national affiliates and 13 Kansas affiliates, with NAMI Wichita being one of those 13. We provide awareness, support, education, and advocacy for people affected by mental illness. Our purpose here is to provide a community conversation on KSUN Radio that gives insight into what it's like to live with a mental illness. Our intention and our hope is that our program will change attitudes, assumptions, and stereotypes about people with mental health conditions, and in so doing, we will stop the stigma associated with mental illness. My name is David Larson. I am very pleased and proud to be your host today, and I am a person living with mental illness. I am in recovery for major depressive disorder. Like everyone, I struggle with the ups and downs of emotions and the challenges of being fully human, but I am doing great. And I know I have many gifts to offer my family, my friends, and my community. Now, before I get too far into the program, I want to introduce David Peterson, our executive producer. Hello, David.
Hello, David.
And our production engineer, Matthew. Hello, Matthew.
Hello, David.
And our technical producer is Mike. Hello, Mike.
Hello.
How are you doing? So thank you all for being here and for sharing with me and our guest today. And speaking of our guest, it is my pleasure to introduce our guest, which is Annie Montgomery. Thank you, Annie.
Thank you, Dave.
So now, Annie, I'm going to start with the typical question that we ask everyone, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is, where were you born and where did you grow up and what high school did you graduate from and what was their mascot?
I was born in Hope, Arkansas.
Wonderful.
Yes, Hope, Arkansas. That's my birthplace, but I grew up in Wichita.
Oh, okay.
Yes, my parents migrated to Wichita, Kansas when I was only 2, looking for work.
Okay.
And that's how we came to Wichita. We had family and friends already here, and so my parents migrated here. And this is where, I consider Wichita home.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
I have roots in Arkansas, but Wichita is home.
Okay, so now what school did you graduate from and what was their mascot?
Yes, I graduated from Wichita Heights High School.
Wichita Heights.
Yes, and our mascot was Falcon.
The Falcons.
Yes.
Okay,
Falcons.
well, a shout out to Wichita Heights.
Yes, Hollywood Heights, as they say.
Really? Hollywood Heights, okay.
Yes.
So, Annie, let me ask you some other questions. Why do we have you here in our station here? You have a connection with mental illness. What is that connection?
That connection is my passion. My mission is close to the mission of NAMI. I am interested in mental health awareness, advocacy, support, and education. And
Wonderful.
I believe that's part of NAMI's mission too.
Yes, it is. All right. Well, now you are associated with a mental health center that is with Tabernacle Bible Church. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm so thankful and so proud that my church family is passionate about mental health also.
Wonderful.
I'm a member of Tabernacle Bible Church. I'm a licensed ordained minister there.
Wonderful.
And I started the counseling center at Tabernacle Bible Church. It's called the Family Life Counseling Center.
Okay, great. So let me backpedal a little bit and ask you some more personal questions. And that is, first of all, do you have any pets?
No pets.
No pets.
No.
Do you have any hobbies?
I have hobbies. I love to read. I love to write. I love to shop.
Do you?
I love to shop.
Excellent.
Ask
All right.
my husband.
Fair enough. All right. And so, no pets, but you like to read and write and shop. And so, what is your personal family connection with mental illness? Do you have relatives?
I do. I have a huge family.
Okay.
extended family members, as well as my immediate family. I have 8 sisters and brothers. They all live here in Wichita, and of course, they all have their families.
Mm-hmm.
And so, my connection with mental illness, I can say, has come through my relationship with my family, first of all,
Okay.
and then my friends, and then, of course, my church family and the extended community.
Wonderful. Well, I'm really fast. I'm going to tag in with you're doing a very good Christian ministry because it says in the Greek that Christ gave therapeusein, which is therapy. That's where we get the word therapy from. So you are doing the work of Christ. So
Right.
that is awesome.
Yes.
So awesome. Well, this is Our Own Voice. We are talking with Annie Montgomery, and we are going to take a quick break and be right back. Welcome back to Our Own Voice, a partnership in mental health awareness in cooperation with NAMI Wichita and KSN Community Radio. NAMI is a national alliance on mental illness. Our Own Voice is intended to humanize a misunderstood, highly stigmatized topic of mental illness by showing that it's possible and common to live well with a mental health condition. Now, Annie, at the break, I sort of told you what I was going to ask you, and that is, when did you first encounter the work of NAMI, of the National Alliance on Mental Illness?
It's interesting considering the fact that I have had this passion for many years, even as a young adult, that my first encounter with NAMI was only a few years ago.
Really?
Yes, and it was through Bernstein Williams
Mm-hmm.
that I came to understand what NAMI is all about. And so I went online and I looked it up and I learned more about the organization, and I thought, I have got to partner with those people.
Yes, thank you so much. And Bernstein is an amazing woman. A shout out to Bernstein. Thank you, Bernstein.
Yes.
So, well, and if I remember right, I believe that you were given an award from the Minority Mental Health Awareness Team.
Yes,
Was that last year or this year?
that was last year.
That was last year.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So,
What was the award for?
for excellence in service,
Fantastic.
I believe. So, I get to work with Bernstein with the Minority Mental Health Awareness Month.
Right.
And so I have a ball doing that. She is
Wonderful.
absolutely wonderful, and
Yes, she
it was
is.
wonderful that we were able to celebrate your work and everything that you do.
Yes, I was very humbled and honored to receive that award. Just recognizing my own personal work in mental health, and so I'm so thankful to them.
Wonderful. Well, now, your work, like we mentioned in the last segment, is with the Family Life Center of Tabernacle Bible Church.
Yes.
And the Family Life Center is, what does the staff look like?
Well, this may surprise you because we really don't have a huge staff.
Okay.
Over the years, I've been able to bring in some volunteers
Mm-hmm.
to help me with people who need our support. And so I have 2 people who are helping me right now in terms of counseling and therapy and that kind of thing.
Wow. That is tremendous.
So I'm very thankful for the help that I have. I also have great support from the church office staff.
Excellent.
And they understand what we're doing. Everything's confidential. We try to keep it to the point to where it doesn't go outside of the Tabernacle Family Life Counseling Center.
Okay.
And so far, so good. We're grateful.
Excellent. Okay, so let's say that that I wanted to go to the Tabernacle Family Life Counseling Center to receive some counseling help.
Hmm.
What number do I call? Where do I go? What are the ins and outs of what can
Yes,
happen?
yes. You would call 681-3954.
That with an area code 316.
316,
Okay.
yes. That is the office number. And you will reach someone in the office, and if you tell them what you're needing, they will make sure that I get the information if you're needing mental health support or counseling or whatever it is, references, whatever the case may be. They will make sure that I get your number and name. And then it is my responsibility to get back with you, set up the appointments or whatever we need to do.
Okay. So, and you have two people helping you as staff wise as doing other counseling as well. About how many people do you serve in a year or in a month or whatever your logistics are of studying, or do you know?
I don't know. I always say it's the season. I know I get a lot of calls during holiday season.
Okay.
A lot of calls because people are 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 feeling the burden of loss and grief and that kind of thing, and it sort of brings out maybe some mental illness or issues that they have dealt with over the years. So that's the time when we get the most calls.
Well, I sort of started on stigma with this segment, and I want to ask you, what kind of stigma do you see within the community for mental health?
And I would have to speak from the community that I'm involved in. And
Right.
this would be predominantly African Americans.
Fair enough.
And so when I first started, it was clear to me that African Americans are very uncomfortable talking about mental illness. And that was a problem to me. And so one of my first goals was to get people to be comfortable in admitting that they have a mental illness, just like a physical health illness, or maybe some spiritual needs.
Okay.
I think that's
I'm gonna
important
ha-
enough to come back to.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
I'm going to have
yes.
to cut you off right there and say this is Our Own Voice on Case and Community Radio. We are talking with Annie Montgomery of Tabernacle Life Counseling Center about mental illness, and we are going to take a quick break and be right back.
Our Own Voice is brought to you by NAMI. If you would like to learn more about the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the programs we offer, or get involved, please visit NAMI.org.
Welcome back to Our Own Voice, a partnership in mental health awareness in cooperation with NAMI Wichita and KSUN Community Radio. NAMI is a national alliance on mental illness. So, Amy Montgomery, I sort of had to cut you off with the last segment. We were talking about stigma, and in particular, the stigma that African American people have with mental illness. So, can you continue on with that?
Yes, I can. I found out many years ago that African Americans are not comfortable talking about their mental issues and illnesses. They are ashamed, and so they keep it on the inside. And you know that when you try to push things down on the inside, at some point it's going to have to come out.
That's right.
And so my prayer has always been that it doesn't come out in a negative or a violent way, but that we begin to be more comfortable talking about our mental issues just as we are about our physical issues and our spiritual issues. Because
Exactly.
it's clear to me from the Bible that we are triune beings. You know, we are made in the image of God, body, spirit, and soul. And so it's very important that we understand that if one isn't working, you know, if you're having issues in the area of your mental state, then you're also not going to be your best physically or spiritually. So that's my belief, and that's how I explain it to the people that I come in contact with.
Excellent.
And I believe since I've been doing that, I've been preaching, teaching, counseling, supporting, being I think since I've just spoken out and spoken up, people are beginning to relax a little bit more when
Good.
we talk about mental illness, because there's help.
Excellent.
There's help.
Yes, there is help.
Mm-hmm.
And let's have your number again for the Tabernacle Life Counseling Center.
Yes, 316-681-3954.
And just to our listeners, I want to note that's not the number that I will have David give us in just a moment for our information line for NAMI. That is the number to the Tabernacle Life Counseling Center for Tabernacle Bible Church. And so you can call that number to get help, to talk with Annie, to try to make connections and see ways of just getting through the tough times.
Yes, yes.
Fair enough. Well, so what else can we talk about with Tabernacle Life Center? Where is Tabernacle Life Center, Life Church? Tabernacle Bible Church. Where is
Yes.
that located at?
Tabernacle Bible Church is at 17th and Volusia.
Okay, 17th and Volusia.
Yes, this church has been a part of this community for 138 years.
Wow.
Yes.
138.
138 years. We're celebrating 138 in just a few weeks.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're so thankful. My husband is senior pastor of Tabernacle Bible Church.
Okay.
And I'm a licensed ordained minister, and I assist him and other ministers in the church to reach out to the community. I started the Family Life Counseling Center with the support of Tabernacle leadership over 20 years ago. And
Wonderful.
So we've been operating for about 22 years now, I think.
That is tremendous.
Yes.
Absolutely tremendous. Now, how big of a congregation is Tabernacle Bible Church?
I believe the number is still around 1,500 members. Give or take.
Right.
You know, not everybody is there every Sunday, but but claim to be members of the church, and we welcome them, and we're continuing to reach out to them.
Excellent. And you're doing such a wonderful ministry and mission with
Thank you.
mental health conditions and mental health issues.
Thank you.
Let's see. What else can I...
I want to tell you
Sure.
about something that I did a couple of years ago. I decided that it was very important for us to bring about awareness to mental health. And so I believe that I led out on the first conference on mental health awareness for the African American community.
Wonderful.
And so we did it 2 years in a row. We're taking a break this year, and we're doing it again in 2020.
Wonderful.
Excellent response, excellent speakers and resources and vendors, and it was wonderful. It was a 3-day conference, and we thoroughly enjoyed it.
That is tremendous. Well,
Yes.
we're going to take another quick break. This is Our Own Voice on KSN Community Radio. We are talking with Annie Montgomery. We are going to take a quick break and be right back. Welcome back to Our Own Voice, a partnership in mental health awareness in cooperation with NAMI Wichita and KSUN Community Radio. NAMI is a National Alliance on Mental Illness. Now, David, I hinted in the last segment, segment number 3, about you giving us our information number. So what is that information number?
That number is 316-686-1373 or 316-686-1373. And again, that is an information line. If it's an emergency or crisis, please call 911 or the Crisis Center. But if you want to know more about NAMI and our programs, our support groups, our classes, please call us. We will be happy to get right back with you. This is an answering service, so we will call you back and keep you updated on what we have going on right now. And one of the things we just had going on was the great music that you heard, and that was composed by our own David Larson. And it's very soothing music, in my opinion.
Thank you very much.
But please give NAMI a call. We have a lot of classes. We have a lot of support groups, and we do not charge for any of those. We want you to be involved if you feel you have the need.
Exactly. Now, I want to add to that you can also go to www.namiwichita.org, or basically www.namiwichita.org. So that will also get you information as well as connections for where everything is going. So now, Annie, I want to ask you, what are some of the challenges that people are facing that you come across in your work?
There are a number of challenges that I have noticed in the with the clients that I work with. We're dealing with suicide or suicidal ideation. We are dealing with bipolar. We're dealing with schizophrenia. We have a great number of clients who are dealing with clinical depression. So those are the main issues that I see with the clients that I work with on a daily basis.
Okay.
There are many, many other issues that have come to my attention that I'm not comfortable working with in terms of my expertise, and I have no problem referring them to people all across the city who know how to deal with those issues, who know how to help them with those issues. And I must say before we end that I have the utmost respect for NAMI and the work that NAMI does. I'm learning more and more as time goes by. So NAMI's on my list.
Excellent.
of people that I can refer to. So I'm appreciative for that.
Well, thank you. Well, we are in this together because
Yes, we
because
are.
with your work and with our work, we are two cogs within a wheel that is multifaceted.
Yes.
Of all the different help that people can get if they just reach
Absolutely.
out.
Right.
So they've got to be willing to reach out and to seek that help, and you got to bust the stigma. You've got to somehow rise above that stigma. I know my own personal stigma that I struggled with was driving me to the point of wanting to commit suicide, and I luckily did not. So I didn't succeed, but it's something that we all need to face. That, well, it's a deep struggle that people face, and they need to know that there is help,
Yes.
especially when they speak up.
Exactly.
I have to say it's a real struggle, and it's not just something that we can snap our fingers or pull up our bootstraps for. It's something that we need to address and find the help, just like you give.
Right.
And one of the things that I want to note is the support that NAMI can offer with both a peer support group, which is called Connections, as well as the family support group for families and friends
Yes.
who have a loved one who is going through a lived experience of mental illness.
And you know that is one of the biggest issues that I deal with. I may not work directly with the client who has the mental illness, but families and how they deal with it, how they're able to get through it and work through it and help their family member. So
Excellent.
I'm working with families who are in that struggle.
Yeah. So now you mentioned schizophrenia. And you mentioned the mood disorders of bipolar and major clinical depression. Do you have the combination of schizoaffective disorder with mood disorder as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that is a struggle as well.
As well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
well, I want to note that we have been talking with Annie Montgomery of Tabernacle Bible Church's Life Counseling Center. And we want to thank you so much, Annie, and we want to ask everyone to join us for our next Our Own Voice program.
Thank you for having me.